Wine Country. It's easily located in Santa Rosa off the 101 Fountain Grove Parkway exit. Call 707-578-6101. That's 707-578-6101 or visit fountaingroveinn.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Cindy Laverty Show on CRN Digital Talk Radio. Thanks so much for being here. My guest today is Rebecca Tinsley, and we're talking about her book, When the Stars Fall to Earth, a story of Africa and the genocide and horrors that are happening there. I really encourage you to read this, as though you may think it's hard to read. There are parts that are hard to read, but it's a story of inspiration, and I really got to tell you, it helps you get out of yourself and see that you really don't have it so bad. Rebecca, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you.
I am so moved by what I've been hearing here. Why do people think this crisis is over? Crisis, genocide. Why do people think it's over?
I think that the trouble is that the Sudanese regime, they're not stupid people, and because they want to kill all the black Africans in their country, they have made sure that the media don't get access. And so there's basically a media vacuum, and there has been for some years now. The other thing they do is that although there are American humanitarian workers in Darfur, the Sudanese government has scared them so much, has threatened them so often, that they dare not speak out about what they see on a daily basis. And sadly, you know, we live in a world where there are lots of things happening all over the place, and it's really easy for Darfur to slip down the kind of agenda of priorities. But I want to stress that since January 2010, there has been a surge in the killing, a big surge. And I have on my desk in front of me a 35-page document that details all the recent attacks and the rapes that have been going on, the looting, the terror, the fact that 90% of the black African villages in Darfur have been destroyed. Oh. This is going on all the time. And unfortunately, we are easily distracted.
Yeah, by things that really aren't very important. At the time you wrote your book, you said that there were 300,000 people in Darfur who have been brutally killed. What is that number today?
There's the problem, Cindy. We don't know. And when I was in Darfur, I was told by one humanitarian worker, a very brave American from Cincinnati, actually, and I remember her saying to me, you know, there's about a third of this place that we don't even get access to, and I fear that one day we're going to find mass graves all over this place.
Oh my gosh. Do you think that in the Western world we turn our heads, or we don't look at this because it's just too much? It's just too hard?
I think that you're right, and that the minute you recognize that an evil is being done, that burdens your heart to do something.
Right.
It provides a moral imperative. But, Cindy, if I may, I think there's something really important that needs to be said. And
okay.
It's this. It's not about Africa. It's not about what Africans do. This is about what people do to each other. And, you know, we need to remember that not that long ago in Europe, in the most civilized country in Europe,
right,
with the most educated people in Europe, we had a genocide beyond our imagination.
Right.
And as my mother used to say to me, you know, people would kill Jews all day and then go home and listen to Beethoven.
Right.
So this is part of the human condition, and it goes alongside all the beautiful, generous, and brave actions that people are capable of in these circumstances.
You're right. So tell us how your projects, Network for Africa and Waging Peace, because I feel like we have to do something. So, I mean, but you sit there and you think, what can I, one little person, do to make a difference? And if each person did something, a huge difference would be made. So how do we help you? How do we help you do this work?
Well, thank you for saying that. We can transform lives by identifying people in Africa who are already making an effort to rebuild their lives. And I think what we've done is we specifically focus on survivors of genocide. That's widows and orphans who are, overcoming incredible challenges and who define themselves as survivors. And we say to ourselves, and we say to them, what can we do to help? Because I have to tell you that the Africans that we work with, some of them are illiterate, but just because you're illiterate, it doesn't mean you're stupid. It just means you didn't get a chance to go to school. And these folks are perfectly aware of what needs to be done in their village to help them rebuild their lives. And usually it is not complicated. It is simple things like providing people with clean water, providing people with solar lamps so that they can work and study in the evening, providing people with radios so that they can get information and learn at a distance. We find so often that it's actually the baby steps that transform people's lives. And the reason I set up Network for Africa was that, frankly, I was fed up with the big aid agencies who, first of all, spend far too much money on their own bureaucracy.
Administrative costs.
Right, but also they're interested in promoting their brand.
Right.
And I think that they forget that we need to be humble and we need to ask Africans, what do you think you need? Instead of trying to impose a white Western solution on them that is often completely inappropriate.
I think throughout life we forget to ask people, what do you need? What can I do for you? How can I help? So if we go to networkforafrica.org, and that's the number 4, networkforafrica.org, is there a list of how we can help you?
Yeah, please click on the word give at the top, and there are options for how you can help. But I do promise that the money that people donate goes there because we have a very generous donor who pays our staff salaries.
Oh, isn't that fantastic? Rebecca, this has been such a pleasure for me. I really hope you'll come back again and be in studio with me when you're in California.
I would love to.
Thank you. Thanks for the work you do. Stay with us. You're listening to the Cindy Laverty Show. I'll be right back.